Okay, so for beginning our tessellation for our Islamic artwork, you're going to need a 4-inch by 4.5-inch piece of tag board. You can use a thin cardboard from a food box, like a cracker box or a pizza box. Even a postcard will do. And creating a tessellation is when the puzzle pieces kind of fit together without ever overlapping. So I'm going to go ahead and create some designs on each side of my little triangle here, rectangle. If you have a shape template, you can use that to help you. But you just want to make sure that you never, cut too much out of one side. All right, so here we go. Some of the images that I really like to look at are actually Mexican talavera, which has been influenced by Islamic art. So I'm going to pull some of my designs from an actual imagery of talavera. Let's see. So everything I cut, I want to make sure I can actually cut it out and that it's going to, look good when I complete this. I'm going to keep it simple also. Sometimes keeping it more simple is best. Remember, cutting into thicker pieces of cardboard is pretty strenuous on your hands. So having a thinner piece will definitely make it feel more comfortable when slicing into this thing. I'm going to go ahead and add one more. Maybe I'm going with very organic shapes. I will be cutting out, this piece right here, this piece right here, removing this piece as well. Maybe I'll do something a little bit more geometric on this side. Notice that none of these shapes are overlapping. I don't want my shapes to overlap because I want to make sure I keep the integrity of this board intact. So I don't want to cut off too much. And then lastly, I will do kind of like a little wave design up top. So I have my areas that I'm going to go ahead and remove with a pair of scissors. So let me go grab some scissors really quick. If you have an X-Acto knife at home, you can definitely use an X-Acto knife, but scissors work. Especially if you keep your shapes nice and organic, and your piece of board that you're using is not too thick, scissors work just fine. I highly recommend when you're choosing your shapes, keep them simple. See, if it becomes too thin, it won't, it might bend easy, so just be careful not to keep them coming separated. This last one. All right. So there's my template, and I'm going to use this as a tessellation. To get this trace is really relatively simple. Let me just come to a plain sheet of paper. So with my clean sheet of paper ready to go, and a pencil and my tessellation, I can go ahead and get started and decide, like, I'm going to make sure that this gets in the corner. My 4-inch side, let's see. Yeah, this is 4.5. If I flip it this way next, it should fit pretty good on here. So you can decide how you are going to flip your tessellation. You can keep it the same every single time, or you can, flip, trace, flip, trace, flip, trace, which I think I'm going to go ahead and do, and I'm going to start this way. So I'm going to put this on the edge of the perforated part, and I'm going to just trace lightly. I don't want to press too hard when I'm tracing. Trying to keep my tessellation in place. So using a template is definitely going to make making our tessellations a lot easier than having to draw each section by hand every single time. So that's why using this, like, a little piece of cardboard will really help out. So there was one trace. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to flip it, match it, trace it. Look, I made like a heart shape. I didn't even realize. I didn't think too much about that. Carefully hold this in place. I'm tracing all the way around each piece of tessellation so that I know exactly where to put it when I flip it one more time. Try to match that nicely into the corner. It's moving around on me. Okay, and then I'm not going to repeat it exactly like this. I'm going to flip it when I come down, so I create a new pattern. So my paper is a little small in comparison to my 4.5 by 4 inch tessellation, but that is okay. Like, I could still, it's okay if it just kind of comes off the edge a little. Still gonna get the effect in. Oops. And the good thing about making a little tessellation template is that if you mess up, you can always just kind of go back, right? And like put your template over it and find out where you messed up. Okay, and last one. And now I have completed a very intricate design from a relatively simple tessellation piece, right? It didn't take me much in order to create a tessellation from this little piece of 4 by 4.5 piece of cardboard, and then trace it onto my sheet of paper. The next thing I could do so I can really keep my sections separate is just go through and complete the line where they belong. So now that I have my tessellation complete, it's up to me to finish this project by coloring each section with a different color scheme. So one section will be cool, another one will be warm, one will be a triadic color scheme, one will be a monochromatic, one will be a analogous, and last one will be a complementary or a split complementary color scheme as well. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording and take questions from the class.